Alright, wanted to do a video showing off my DVD collection, and now I finally get to do this. As you can probably see, this is my DVD collection, and I wanted to do this because James Rolfe has done it, and you might know him as the Angry Video Game Nerd, and he's just such a great guy, and he's done so many videos instead of he's done so many videos rather than just the Angry Video Game Nerd that I thought it'd be fun to try. As you can probably see, it's a huge collection, and not all my DVDs are. This is my closet, and not all my DVDs are there. I have some with their own cases, their own storage boxes, their own bags, and we might even get to my game collection too, because I got a collection of Wii, GameCube, Wii U games, because I am quite a collector of all this. We're gonna start down here. That's my associate's degree from a community college I went to in my hometown, and I usually try to organize them in specific orders. Like, for example, this top here is my anime collection. And I also have an anime collection down here, but I'll get to that later. And this is my music collection, or any other random movie like biography or anything, but I call this a music collection, because I know I have a bunch of Beatles, Tenacious D, Queen, and I think the Doors, and I think a Stevie Nicks. I know I have Led Zeppelin and the Who down there, and some of these, I should also mention, were inherited from my uncle after he passed away, and it was really difficult for me. But this, for example, Animal House, was originally my uncle's, and he also had a bunch of the Who, and I love the Who and the Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix, the Electric Ladyland, and Nirvana. There's also Fleetwood Mac. I'm not even sure if I can get through all of them, but I do want to go through my anime DVD collection as well. As you can see, I displayed it in a way that there's figures, and one of the reasons why I like to set up DVD box sets like this out there is because I want to make it look like a library, because it is kind of cool that it would make it look like a library of DVDs if people would rent. Yeah, as you can see, I got the Beatles anthology. I once watched it from a friend of mine who had this, and haven't opened it yet, but if I rewatch it again, I know what to get out of it, because every Beatles fan has to have that. I also have all the other Beatle films, like A Hard Day's Night, and of course there's a biography based on John Lennon's life when he was living with Fifi. I think that's what his caretaker's name was, when he formed the Quarrymen, the band before the Beatles. I also have Magical Mystery Tour, and there's also Help, the movie Help. So yeah, and there's the Blues Brothers, one of my favorite movies done by John Lasseter. Of course, there's the Producers. I also have the original one done by Mel Brooks. There's Stevie Nicks and School of Rock. Of course, there's West Side Story. Majority of the DVDs I have here are musicals. And I like to keep my Blu-rays or smaller DVD cases on the sides like here. So I also have a collection of 3DS games. Alright, now let's get on to the anime part. You can see I have Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is the entire collection of the original dub from Sailor Moon. This is as far as the original dub, with Susan Roman as Sailor Jupiter and all that. The rights to the original dub were out of print, so nowadays there's never going to be a chance to watch them on DVD. They're never going to get re-released on DVD, which is really sad. But it's always nice to rewatch them every now and then. There's a collection of Sailor Moon, the dub done by Viz Media. Recently in 2014, Viz Media redubbed Sailor Moon because, from what I heard, when they acquired the rights to Sailor Moon, they did try to re-release the original dub, but were unable to because the rights of it expired. So the only other option they have was to re-release it with their own dub. Of course, the Japanese audio is included too. We got Sailor Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars. Perhaps three of my favorite Sailor Guardians. I should probably mention that I have all of these were signed by at least one or some of the voice casts for the new dub for Sailor Moon. Stephanie Shea, for example, I think has signed all of these. I've met her like a few times at conventions I go to. And Sandy Fox has also signed them too. Usagi and the Sandy Fox. Stephanie Shea and Sandy Fox. I can't remember every name of every voice cast, but I also met the current voice for Sailor Jupiter. For the record, I know it's not Susan Roman. There's also Sailor Venus, Christine V. No, wait. That's Sailor Mars. Charamia Lee does Sailor Venus, that I remember. I also have some of those signed by Veronica Taylor, who is the voice of Sailor Pluto. She also signed this, and this is actually this probably has the most amount of signatures of any DVD case I have. There's also the Japanese voice for Tuxedo Mask, was at a convention I went to. I had him sign this. The Japanese voice for Tuxedo Mask. Again, I can't remember the name. Some of these I do have signed by... There's also Michelle Ruff, who did Luna. We're also signed by Veronica Taylor, who voices Sailor Pluto from Sailor Moon. But speaking of Veronica Taylor, you'll mostly know her as Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. If you've seen my video, I did a 2-part half-hour interview with her. And I'd like to show many of these were actually also signed by Veronica Taylor. And I also have many of the others signed by Eric Stewart, who is the voice of Brock and James from Pokemon, and many others. So yeah, I have, but majority of Pokemon DVDs I have are signed by Veronica Taylor and Eric Stewart, the original voice, part of the original voice cast for Pokemon. Might be worth something someday. Okay, now we're all the way at the top. There's Hatsune Miku, and oh no, Sailor Mercury fell down. I'll get her. Anyway, there's also, this is a majority of other anime DVDs I have. I have Dragon Ball. I have every season of Dragon Ball Z, and I have all the seasons for Dragon Ball with the exception for season 2 and one movie DVD, which I'll show later. There's Slayers, and from what I've known, many of the original English voice casts for Slayers later went on to do Pokemon. I know Eric Stewart voiced Gowry, and Veronica Taylor voiced Amelia. There's also, yeah, I also got Cowboy Bebop. I know these two were signed by Steve Bloom, who did Spike Spiegel. You know, Spike Spiegel. I also got Ghost in the Shell, and the rest of Sailor Moon I have, which is actually Sailor Moon Crystal, which I left upside down for some reason. That was my fan that just fell down. I know Steve Bloom also did Wild Arms and... Hello, Miku. And I also had Veronica Taylor sign Grave of the Fireflies. She was the voice of the mother who died in this movie. And this movie is actually really, really powerful. It's got such a huge message, showing us what it was like for Japan to suffer from World War II. They're stealing Jewel Kurumi, and this is Mahorumatic, one of the earliest animes I was watching when I started getting into anime, and I have one of the discs signed by Tony Oliver, who was the voice director for the English dub of that anime. Of course, there's a collection of Miyazaki, the Miyazaki collection. I think one of my personal favorites would have to be Spirited Away. There's Tony Oliver's signature on the DVD. I would have to say I would have to say Spirited Away is probably my favorite. Next to Kiki's Delivery Service. I also have these are Summer Wars and Outlaw Star. If you like Cowboy Bebop, then you have to check out Outlaw Star. It is one of the most underappreciated anime I know of. That I heard that there was supposed to be a second season for this, but it got canceled. So sad. But anybody who's seen Cowboy Bebop has to check out Outlaw Star. It is one of my personal favorite anime. Also, there's I got every collection of All-Purpose Cultural Cat Girl Nuku Nuku, which I heard they re-released on Blu-ray. Here's some of my other anime: High School of the Dead, The Wind Rises, another Miyazaki film. And here's the rest of my Dragon Ball Z DVD collection that I was talking about earlier. And Dragon Ball, all except for Season 2, and one of the movie collections. Okay, now we're on the Nickelodeon section. I pretty much have, I believe, almost every single Nicktoon I grew up with, except for the Fairly Odd Parents. I do not have that yet. I know they're on Amazon. This is the entire collection of Hey Arnold, which consists of, which also includes the 2 movies. They recently came out with the Jungle movie, which I think is a perfect way to end the series. And there's also features such as the pilot, the original claymation shorts with Arnold that I think at one point aired on Sesame Street, which I'm not 100% sure. I also have these 2 copies of Cat Dog signed. One of them, 2 of them were signed by Jim Cummings, who did Cat. Signed Jim Cummings, and there was also, I have a copy that was also signed by Billy West, who did Rancid Rabbit and other characters. Jim Cummings did Cat from Cat Dog. I also have the Rugrats. These are the collection of Rugrats DVDs I have, and this copy here was signed by E.G. Daily, who did Tommy Pickles. I have the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob and the movie, which in my opinion are the golden age of SpongeBob. I also have the second movie, A Sponge Out of Water. I don't know where it's at right now. Okay, now for the animation section. Here's the entire collection of Inspector Gadget, and this actually is not the animation part, but this is the majority of films done by Mel Brooks, except for The Producers. This does not have movies like The Producers or Spaceballs. It does, however, have Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Young Frankenstein, Silent Movie, To Be or Not to Be. So much to mention. It's too much for my head to even think about. There's Bobby's World, done by Howie Mandel, who has done Gizmo from Gremlins. Here's a collection of of Steven Spielberg's animation, which consists of Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, and Pinky and the Brain, which the latter was part of Animaniacs originals. This was actually signed. See, I know I have this, which was signed by Tress MacNeille, who did Babs Bunny and a lot of others. You may know her for her work on The Simpsons. I also got I believe I have all my DVD copies signed by Rob Paulsen, the voice of Pinky and Yakko from Animaniacs. I can't remember the voice actor who did Brain. I can't really pronounce his name, but this is the signature for Rob Paulsen, and forgive me for forgetting the guy's name that did the Brain. And I also have many that were signed. Many of these copies were also signed by Rob Paulsen and Tress MacNeille, which I think. Yeah, this is one of the Animaniacs DVDs that I have signed by Tress MacNeille and Rob Paulsen. There's a bunch of other animated shows like Sonic and Mario Mario, I don't think Mario's up there, but there's all the Sonic shows, Sonic the Saturday AM Sonic Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Underground. There's also the animated Archie shows. I've been getting into the Riverdale, the current show, the live action series that focuses on the characters from the Archie comics. Alright, now we're at the horror movie section, and this is Alfred Hitchcock. I inherited this from my uncle after he passed away, sadly. It's nice to have something in his possession, and this is the entire collection of Stanley Kubrick. Every single movie done by Stanley Kubrick, including A Clockwork Orange, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Eyes Wide Shut, Full Metal Jacket, and The Shining. Here's Johnny! And also Barry Lyndon, which is considered his weakest film, but I actually liked it. This is the brother of the bands. I haven't really seen it. Not sure why. When I was in high school, I was getting into films by Joe Dante, who is best known for directing the movie Gremlins and Gremlins 2, and I think one of my personal favorite movies is The Howling. Probably one of my favorite werewolf movies. I have every film by Joe Dante except for what's that movie called? The Explorers, and I heard that recently his regular cast member Dick Miller passed away, and it's really sad to hear. And this is Dawn of the Dead. I have the first 4 Friday the 13th movies. I got Reanimator, Night of the Comet, Piranha, which is considered a huge ripoff of Jaws. At one point, I had my collection had films done by Quentin Tarantino specifically. This is Kill Bill. I have others like Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. The only movie I don't have by Quentin Tarantino is, I believe, Inglourious Bastards. Anyway, there's Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction. I would have to say Inglourious Bastards is my least favorite film by Tarantino. It's okay. I don't think it's his best, but it's just something that kind of makes it a little stand out from the way it portrays history. I don't think that it's supposed to. This is my Nintendo Switch collection. And yeah, I just got a lot of random DVDs scattered around now. There's Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and I also have the Super Mario World TV series with the Mama Luigi meme, which I believe was part of the Captain N and the new whatever. Yeah. Back then, I was really wanting to check out, when I was a kid, really wanting to check out the Super Mario Brothers cartoons, because they, at one point when they were selling cereal, they had these CDs with specific cartoons included on them, and Super Mario Brothers 3, the cartoon, was one of them. I also had the entire collection of Full House. There's the Ren and Stimpy show. There's The States. Young Ones, a British comedy show. It's my Toy Story collection. Okay, so now we're at my game collection. I don't even want to go through all of them. I think it's probably better if I presented them just in video motion, or maybe even pictures. When I was a kid during the GameCube era, and some of the games I have actually I lost the cases earlier. For some reason, my family threw them out, and I'm not sure why. I don't even want to get more into it, but I kind of regret throwing out the game cases for some of the games I have. Thankfully, we did not do that for the Wii games. This is basically all of the Wii games I have. More GameCube and Xbox 360. There's some more somewhere else, but I don't even play my Xbox 360 anymore. So I think it's probably worth something. But one thing I do want to show you is that I have this copy of, I have basically all the main 3D Mario games I have, minus the new Super Mario Brothers games. I've had these signed by Charles Martinet, voice of Mario, and Luigi, Wario, and other characters. Super Mario Sunshine. Here are the Mario Galaxy games, all of which were signed by Charles Martinet. There's Super Mario 3D World that I had him sign too. So that's all the main Mario games. I pretty much own every Mario game in the GameCube library, and I think I have every Mario game in the Wii U library, and I have a majority of Mario games for the Wii U, except for Mario Tennis. I forgot the subtitle. I don't care. I never bothered picking it up, but I do have Mario Tennis Aces for the Switch. And yeah, this is my entire Switch collection. So I think I have every Mario game so far on the Nintendo Switch. And I should probably mention I had this copy of Mario Odyssey signed by, you guessed it, Charles Martinet. Here's my GameCube collection, which has discs of games that I lost the cases for years ago. So this case is actually really old. In fact, some of the games that used to be, I bought some cases off eBay for these specific games because I didn't want, because some of these pockets were coming apart and kind of like this. I don't want to put my discs in there. I've had this since like I think 2002 or 2003. But yeah. Well, thanks for watching. Probably after this video, my collection is probably going to be updated, and I'm probably going to have more DVDs as time goes on. I'll probably even be rid of some of the DVDs, which I hope to God I don't. But it's always nice to show off a DVD collection when you're that much of a consumer. Thanks for watching.